The city contemplates a hefty fee increase at arenas. The annual Ribfest gets underway. And the Prime Minister visits the Kelowna area. Good evening and thank you for joining us. The City of Thunder Bay is considering a big increase to its ice rental rates. Fees could go up by 19% or more. User groups are urging city leaders to phase in any increases gradually, saying a big jump in costs could limit access for lower-income skaters. Jessica Clement has the details.
The possibility of hiking ice rental fees by 19% or higher is raised in a report that will be presented to City Council on Monday. The fee increases have been presented as an alternative to closing the Nebing Memorial Arena, a controversial option City Council had considered to cut $180,000 in yearly spending. The arena closure has been withdrawn at least for the coming winter season, and Thunder Bay Minor Hockey President Wayne Fortes says if it does come to increased fees, he hopes it'll be gradual.
If they're going to have to increase them that much, then over a timeline, not all at once, because everything's tight right now for everybody. Money's tight, so everybody's trying to keep their costs down as much as they can.
President of the Thunder Bay Figure Skating Club, Rebecca Bourgeois, agrees with Fortes' sentiments, adding it will put a lot of pressure on members in her organization.
Figure skating already is costly as it is. So adding another 20% on top of the fees, it's going to hurt a lot of the low-income families that we have participating with our organization. If prices do go up in the future drastically, then I have a feeling that we'll have a huge decline in our registration.
Fortes says he hopes the city will consult with them more to get feedback and be more understanding to what the organizations are going through.
We're all trying to work together so that we don't waste any ice, and and there was very little problems last year that way, so hopefully that we'll be able to, the more we communicate, the better we can organize everything.
Taking away sports, closing arenas in a city like Thunder Bay hurts. It hurts everyone because we have nothing here for our youth as it is. So trying to keep them occupied and off the streets is what they should be focusing on.
A final decision on the size of the user fee increases won't take place until early in the new year, when Council finalizes the 2024 budget. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
One person is dead following a single vehicle collision early this morning near Kenora. It happened on the highway to Grassy Narrows, about 12 kilometers north of Highway 17. According to OPP, the two occupants were transported to Lake of the Woods District Hospital, where the driver was pronounced dead. The passenger sustained minor injuries. And OPP continued to investigate another serious crash yesterday evening on Highway 17 near Marathon. The occupants of an SUV and a pickup truck were transported to hospital. The incident shut down the highway for about 9 hours. There's no word on the extent of the injuries. The Thunder Bay Police Service welcomed 4 new officers during a swearing-in ceremony this morning at the City Courthouse. The new recruits are Constables Michael Boyechko, Stephanie Norland, Jonathan Dillon Samus, and Ross Tansey. This marked the first swearing-in ceremony for new Police Chief Darcy Fleury, who officially took over in May. In brief remarks made during the ceremony, Fleury told the new officers that while some days will be harder than others, every day will be a learning experience.
They're going to have days where it's not going to be so easy, and they're going to have days that are fantastic. And each and every one of those days brings experiences and memories, and I think to embrace those and to carry on in their careers and learn from what they've experienced.
I was actually on the Impact Unit, so that's the Mental Health and Crisis Unit with the City of Thunder Bay. Did that for about 1.5 years, and I loved that job and wanted to be able to do more. Now I'll be able to use the kind of experience and knowledge that I gained from that and use it in all of the calls for service that the City of Thunder Bay will get dispatched to.
With these 4 officers officially joining the ranks, the total number of uniformed officers on the Thunder Bay Police Force is now up to 251. Well, the Premier is on the defensive after his Housing Minister's Chief of Staff resigned due to controversy surrounding the decision to open protected Greenbelt land to development. Doug Ford claims he wasn't involved in the process, that the Auditor General found favored certain developers who stand to make billions of dollars.
I can't micromanage one of the largest, I call it a corporation, one of the largest corporations in North America of $204 billion of revenue, hundreds of thousands of employees, a GDP over $1 trillion, and micromanage every single person. I did not direct them. I didn't even know who was coming forward. The day of cabinet, they brought it forward, and we just moved forward with it.
The RCMP is currently looking into the government's handling of the Greenbelt following a referral from the Ontario Provincial Police, but no formal investigation has been launched. Ontario's NDP leader slammed Ford this afternoon.
The Premier came out here and insulted the intelligence of Ontarians. He insulted the Auditor General, and I think he can continue to hide, but it's not going to work. Every time he does step out, he makes it worse because Ontarians are deeply insulted by his denial.
The NDP wants Ford to recall the Ontario legislature to discuss the government's handling of the situation, and the Green Party is calling for a public inquiry into the land removals. Well, the Ontario government and the province's secondary school teachers union haven't yet reached a deal, but the two sides have agreed to a process to avoid a strike.
I'm very pleased to announce that the province has reached a tentative agreement with the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation on a process that keeps students in class and ends the threat of strikes both provincially and locally. This tentative agreement will now be brought forward to union members to vote on. This tentative agreement sets out a period of time to continue negotiating in good faith, and if a negotiated agreement can't be reached, the parties will enter into binding interest arbitration, which is a fair and reasonable approach to resolve all outstanding issues.
The union and government will keep bargaining until October 27th, and as you heard there, if no deal is reached, the remaining issues will be settled by an arbitrator. The Education Minister is extending the same offer to the other three teachers' unions and is inviting them to discuss it as early as Monday. They've been bargaining for more than a year. The OSSTF notes the two sides are still far apart in the contract negotiations.
I want to stress this proposal is not a tentative agreement. I just heard in a press conference a couple of times that we have a tentative agreement, and I believe I also heard that we have a tentative deal, and that is incorrect. We have not reached a deal, and in fact, we will continue to bargain, but this proposal does establish a clear pathway forward for this round of bargaining that could potentially end in arbitration.
Doctors in this province are warning of a busy flu season ahead as kids get set to return to school.
In Canada, we look to the Southern Hemisphere to see what our flu season might look like. Australia had one of its busiest flu seasons in years and saw a surge in hospital visits by children experiencing severe flu symptoms. At the same time, a highly mutated variant of the COVID virus has popped up in several countries and is being closely monitored by the Public Health Agency of Canada.
Doctors say right now levels of COVID-19 and the flu are low, but typically increase in the fall when the temperatures drop. They're encouraging kids and families to get up to date on all vaccinations. A Thunder Bay summer staple opened its gates this morning. Ribfest, which supports Our Kids Count, is up and running at the CLE grounds through the weekend. We had to pry our reporter Joe Sadowski away from the ribs to get him to bring us this story.
Ribfest kicked off with some rainy and not so rib-friendly conditions, but that didn't stop people from all over the region coming down and enjoying some delicious ribs. Tell me about how good these ribs are.
Yeah, this is the first time I've had the dino ribs, and these are wicked.
Oh, the sauce is amazing.
Yeah,
it's my first time ever here. It was really good.
These ribs are so good. I'm not really a meat eater, but I came down to support the fundraiser. And okay, talk about finger licking good. I'm not going to do it on camera, but
Ribfest will be running again on Saturday from 11 to 9 p.m. and from 11 to 8 on Sunday. It's all for a good cause, too, with the proceeds going towards the local charity of Our Kids Count. Executive Director of the charity, Jackie Knuff, says they're continuing to hope for greater totals than last year with a target goal of between $40,000 and $50,000.
Yeah, we're super excited. We had a little bit of rain this morning and it's cleared up, so the sun is out, and we're just super excited to see people coming down. We have the bouncy castle all ready to go, and we've got our 50-50 draws happening. I mean, our goal is always high because this is one of our biggest fundraisers, so it all depends on, everyone coming down and buying 50-50 tickets. But we're hoping to raise, around $40,000-$50,000 this year.
Besides the sweet taste of those succulent ribs, there's plenty of activities going on for people of all ages, including the Scott Van Tiefelen Band headlining Friday and Back 40 on Saturday, not to mention a competitive cornhole tournament. Ribfest chair Daniel Trevisanuto says it's an experience you won't want to miss.
We're up and running. It's fantastic. We've got all of our food vendors here getting the food ready. We've got our artisans here with all of their different wares to sell. It's very exciting.
Yeah, and have you tried any of the ribs today?
Yeah, we have. We got a little sneak peek last night while they were doing some prep work. You're going to want to come down and try them. It's fantastic as always. It's such a great thing to come and experience.
You could come to Ribfest all weekend long, weather dependent, and I could not help myself. I have to try these ribs. They look incredible. Let's dig in. Oh, and in the wise words of Kurt Black, bring your bib, because it's about to get saucy. Unbelievable. Joe Sadowski, TBT News.
Oh, Joe. Also at the CLE grounds is the Northwestern Fur Trappers Association, which is hosting its annual trapping convention at the Coliseum building. The convention has a variety of vendors selling trapping-related merchandise and equipment, as well as art, clothing, and jewelry. The convention also features food and an archery game station. Fur Trappers Association President Katie Ball says it's a great opportunity for people, including children, to learn more about trapping.
As you can see, we have a lot of booths here, a lot of educational opportunities for people. They're able to speak with the MNRF, they're able to come in and speak with Resolute Forest Products, and just meet other vendors in general, pick up some trap supplies. But again, it's that togetherness and sharing our experiences and teaching the new generation about trapping and where we're going from here.
We really call it a lifestyle. I mean, trappers in Ontario, they have to take a 40-hour course to become a licensed trapper, and that's just to get the piece of paper to actually go out and trap. You have to have land that you can do that on, either private or registered trap lines.
The Trappers Convention continues tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., kicking off with a pancake breakfast. The 23rd annual Ronald McDonald House Charity Golf Tournament was held today at Fort William Country Club, and despite the rain, there were a lot of happy golfers out supporting the event. Ronald McDonald House has helped hundreds of families in the Thunder Bay area, offering housing during times of treatment for seriously ill children. About 140 golfers came out to support the cause, enjoying the course until the inevitable rain delay. Tournament Chair Chris Holland says despite the stoppage, at the end of the day, it's not about the golf, it's all about the kids.
You know what? This city is tremendous with its support. We've got so many great sponsors here, and really it's for the kids. And yeah, it's going to rain. You know what? We were a little bit wet, but everybody that's come out today knows what this is all about, and it's really about the kids. So yeah, it's a good cause, and we're going to give a nice big check tonight. So.
Holland expects the final donation total for this year's tournament will be in the range of 6 figures. The 50-50 draw winner will get around $7,000. A Manitouwadge man got a life-changing phone call today as he found out he's this month's winner of the Thunder Bay 50-50 draw.
Musselwhite, so you're a miner?
Yep.
What do you mine up there?
Gold.
Gold? Well, have you ever wondered what it'd feel like to strike it rich?
I always said, yeah. Who hasn't?
So, what would you say if I told you you've won $836,560 in the Thunder Bay 50-50?
I'm speechless. Wow. That's amazing.
Jerry Pilon is August's big winner, taking home more than $836,000. He says his first priority is paying off his debts in order to set up an earlier retirement. The draw has raised millions of dollars to date to buy vital hospital equipment. September's draw is already open and will feature $30,000 in early bird prizes. Well, turning to weather now, Fiona, there was a little bit of everything out there today. We already talked about the rain, but there was a little bit of sunshine out there as well.
Basically, the good news was it didn't matter what I forecasted, I was going to be right. We had sun, we had cloud. We didn't have a lot of wind, but it was for the most part from the west, 4 to 13 kilometers per hour. Started out with a low of 14, topped out at 22, and a humidex that hit 27. But we'd be at 22 1 hour and 18 the next, and then back up to 21. We were kind of all over the place, and you got a pretty good light show at noon with that thunderstorm that kicked in. Now, we're not the only ones that had kind of a mixed bag of conditions. To the west, Atikokan, currently similar temperatures. Fort Francis, 21. They had a couple of periods of rain during the day, but the humidex still topping out at 27. They're currently mostly cloudy. All you have to do, though, is head just a slight bit further north, and it cools down already into Kenora at 17, 18, Dryden, Upsala. Red Lake currently 14. You can see the temperatures changing. They had periods of rain, but stayed within about a 2 to 3 degree range throughout the day. Eastward into Armstrong, they're at 13 at this hour, 12 in Greenstone. That's actually the low for the day. Temperatures have been were cool last night and have been dropping steadily throughout the day, with periods of light to heavy rain in the afternoon. Also cool along the North Shore, and Sault Ste. Marie saw partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. Temperatures rose steadily, and the humidex topped out at 30 just in the last hour. That is until this thunderstorm began just about half an hour ago, and you know that's going to affect the humidex once again. Here in the city of Thunder Bay tonight, things are going to be nice and calm. We're looking at partly cloudy skies and an overnight low of 12. And good news for rib fanatics and anybody with activities this weekend. Things are looking pretty dry. Now, we've got some cooler air to the south and that just passed us, but we do have some warmer air that's going to try to push in from the west. I'll have more details on what that's going to do to a warmer, calmer, hopefully more boring forecast for the weekend. That's later on the news hour.
Yeah, boring is good. Thanks a lot, Fiona. Well, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in BC today. He got a first-hand look this afternoon at the fire damage in the Kelowna area. We'll have that and more when your Friday News Hour continues.
There are a lot of things that we need to do to be thoughtful and careful as we rebuild.